Hey, how's it going? So, as we're having our little principal conversation, every day I'm putting one by one, slowly, slowly, and actually, you even notice quite late at night, depends on which part of the planet you're in. But that's because the energies are very heavy. So, I've decided to start talking already about things that are easy to implement, like what happens when the energy around is heavy. And that, let's say you don't watch the news and you're not talking politics and you generally don't get worried over stuff that is outside of you, and you're still feeling very heavy and tiresome. And most people go out of their house to work, or even go out to cafes to work, or they have to go out and kind of like engage in the world. And so, as we're sentient beings, or like I like to call us multidimensional beings, we sense things, and a lot of people have capability that are over in that department. They're called empaths, they're called sensitives, oversensitive, exosensitive, introverts, you name it. There's a lot of names for that. But the reality of it is that they can really sense energies. And so a lot of them are like, oh, that's heebie-jeebie, kind of like a new world situation. I don't know if I'm relating to that. And I say, it's fine. You don't have to. Everybody can decide how they want to define their own world and their own experience. It's the whole idea of being alive, that you can, it's like a blank canvas and you can paint whatever you want. But since it's not really a blank canvas, because ever since we're kids, we're given certain colors and we're told to draw certain figures, and we're explained what those figures are and how they serve us, and this is our world. And so it's not really a blank canvas, and only when you grow up you start realizing, oh, it is a blank canvas, I can do whatever I want. So if you're looking at that particular point, that the world is a canvas, it means you can draw whatever picture you want. And you're like, but I'm depressed for years. How am I going to change that? Well, let me tell you this. It's not going to change tomorrow, which is fine and good and dandy, because nothing changes in an instant. And if it does, it takes a whole lot of energy to hold that in place. That's called a quantum jump. We talk about that. But so nobody wants that, because you really need to be super duper attuned and connected and really aware of energies, and know how to withhold them, and be very know how to withstand things for a while. And so let's say that change is not going to happen tomorrow, but I tell you what can happen in an instant. You can decide to become a person, and you can decide to make that point of view your goal. And so if our day-to-day goal is mostly to go to work and do well there and make more money, etc., we have different goals. Some people, they already have that covered and they can do it out of sleep, and so they want a partner. Some people want to be good at bowling. Some people are sportsmen, athletes, or musicians, or artists on their side job. Some people, it's their main job and that's what they want to do. And so that focus, that energy, that choice we make to better ourselves in something can now move a little bit to the side. That doesn't mean it's not, it doesn't mean it's canceled, but it means that if you're trying to achieve that while you're having so much background noise and fatigue, because these energies are exhaustive, like it's really tiresome. I sleep a lot more when things are going really wrong in the world. It's also harder for me to sleep because the energies are very intense. I only fall asleep very late at night, because I can actually enjoy my day through the night when people are sleeping. Because when people are awake, they're too all over the place and crazy and panicking that I can't. Even in the evening, nighttime, there's still people are awake till up to 2, 3. It's tiresome, especially if they're consuming negative or violent content, which is totally what's rocking right now. And so what you do is first you choose. Choosing is the biggest thing you can do for yourself. Even like I said, if you say, I'm depressed, I'm never going to change, you can choose to want to be happy. That doesn't mean that you're going to be happy tomorrow. Maybe it will mean that you'll be happy for 5 seconds out of the whole day. That's how you start healing and start having spiritual goals rather than material goals. Because if your spiritual goals aren't fulfilled, then your material goals are being delayed. And so the reason would be, why don't I clear the spiritual path first in order for the material to arrive, or even the intellectual, or like any type of growth that you would like. In order for growth to happen, you need to have love flowing. If you're stressed and not sleeping and tired and exhausted by people and kind of, like you said, depressed, or like I said, depressed, then your goals are delayed, because you're having blockages in your body in different places where you hold your emotions, and therefore the energy can't flow, and therefore there's no flow of love, and therefore there's no flow of life. There is, but maybe a trickle, or maybe a drop, and once in 3 days, And so, from my perspective, it's always better to work on how you're feeling, because if you feel good and you are in a place of love, everything flows. Then you don't even have to ask, because all you gotta do is imagine a good imagination of what you like and how it would make you happy and how it would fill your life with love much more, and it will slowly become, and sometimes very fast become, because if you're practicing on clearing that path, that channel you are, that I call it the tube of love and energy, and you allow that tube to be clear, so energy of love is flowing through it all day, then your actions are love, then your thoughts are love, then your speech is love, then your future is love, your now is love, your past was love, your love, you're embodying love. And that's the way to, I don't want to say counter, because that's not love, to integrate the darkness that is happening right now. Not to reject it, not to say, oh, it's terrible and these people are horrible and this president's crazy and these politicians are corrupted. We can name them many ways, but you can also say, this person has serious problems and they don't want to deal with that, instead of crazy. These people think that a paper with a face on it and a number is worth more than people's life. That's kind of sad. But even that, I wouldn't even jump to say what you think about it, as much as I would just look at them as people who have problems or not dealing with these problems, and therefore they're just injured, hurt people, instead of these villains that we're creating. So drop the villains, embrace compassion, and remember that everything starts and ends with you. If you call people names, you actually called yourself a name. So start calling your reality loving.